to do a little Gene Keys reading and chat. And we're preparing to, we're preparing to move her out of her current pet sit. And as is usual, she's a little sad because she's really developed a relationship with the dog. So let's watch them. Let's watch them come down.
Don't get them until you come all the way out.
Yeah, but have you seen how it takes a little while for a dog to like decide, okay, we're buds, we can talk, we can whatever, you know? And it's, I mean, a week is, or I can't remember how long you've been here.
Yeah,
I feel like
over a week.
everything over like 4 days is usually really rich, you know, really like interactive with the dog, and they start talking to you like that. And
yeah.
So I hope they
I guess,
travel again before they're gone, before he's gone, because I'd love for you to be back out here. Because that experience of that next sit after a dog's fallen in love with you and you fallen in love with them, it's extra sweet, you know?
I gotta get some water. Rojo, you should come out with the game. It's the game.
Can I give you a good morning hug?
Uh-huh.
Good morning. Heart hug.
I hope I don't stink.
Teeny bit.
I know it a little bit too.
Yeah, isn't it wild how it just gets on there? All you did is wash it in a machine that it's happened in.
Right, I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all you. I want it to be real clear. I absolutely in no way, shape, or form blame you or am upset, because I know that you're really doing the best you can, and the environment. This is just how people's homes are. This is just how it is, and so I appreciate your awareness. I mean,
I think I washed it over at the other place before I came here. This particulars.
At Finn's? Anyway, doesn't matter. I appreciate the effort. That means so much to me, because
it couldn't have been at Finn, so it must have been here.
Because as you know, I've definitely gotten a lot of people who are like, fuck you, and fragrance is more important to me than your health.
Yeah.
And that's really, really, really painful to hear. So, yeah.
No, I try to tell people, and really in a gentle way, that God, if you know something is making somebody else ill, I mean, aren't you just gonna try to?
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, like there was a point at which with our last household where there were those people who were like, well, we're going to use it, whatever. I was like, at one point I had to say to Brian, like, if they actually hit me and hurt me bad enough I couldn't work for an extended period of time, like days to a week, what would you do in that case? If you can see the physical harm, and you'd be like, I would have kicked him out. Like, exactly. You just can't see the harm, but it's really not a lot less. Like, it's so painful, and I'm so sick, and it costs me so much opportunity. So why is it different just because you can't see it? So it was tough, but he understands, and it was soon after that he started being so.
Autism.
Which is, what do you mean? Just
I look like a normal human
being. Right. But I am not. And it's confusing for others, and
I mean, it's true for really everybody. If you're open enough to see that, everybody's got their whatever. I don't want.
Okay. And honestly, not everybody even allows themselves that, though. I think part of the reason why people are like, you're too much and I have to do too much for your comfort is in part because they don't feel like they can ask for their needs. and they'll be dismissed. I mean, I've had this conversation with my mom specifically where I'm like, I can't remember what the thing they were doing was, but like, these people are doing XYZ. It hurts you. It makes you uncomfortable. You're unhappy when you're there. Have you thought to ask them not? Well, it doesn't matter. No, I won't ask them. They won't do it. And so she continues to suffer with it because she genuinely feels like she doesn't have a voice. And I understand why she feels that way. She learned that, and she's a good learner. But there comes a point where we're all trying to say, well, this is my need. And I think people get mad at me because they don't do that. And I think I'm like overstepping because I do. Mm-hmm. So I love it when I help somebody recognize a desire in themselves or a need in themselves, and they feel like they can start asking for it, or they can start, asking for it basically, because it always seems to ease how they're perceiving me, and a lot of times they're like, oh yeah, cool. I didn't, it's like helpful to them to hear somebody else seeing things or experiencing things differently. But they usually get mad at me at first, just about everybody. And it's only the ones who are willing to keep trying, like you do, like you have, that ever get to this point where you're like, that's just
pretty
you.
unique.
Yeah.
In the way that I just accept people for what they are.
I wish that was more common, though. I wish you weren't unique.
I wish it were more common, but I see in the world that people are not commonly open to how other people are.
Do you think that's human nature, though, or training?
Well, it's all the gene keys.
So you don't think it's cultural training?
It's cultural training that ends up living in our DNA.
Oh, well, okay. Awesome. Yeah, that makes sense. So that there's no longer a nature versus nurture or even conversation.
No.
Wow, it blew my mind.
Yeah, no. Anyway, but it would be helpful if more people would just, just take a beat and notice somebody else.
Yeah.
And just notice that they're different and be okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, on the one hand, I'm like, the things that would help me really would help you as well. I just am the one who's saying, hey, this thing would be good for humans. I just happen to be the one who noticed it and brought it up. So that's one part. And I really just think, what was I going to say? Take a beat and notice somebody else. Oh, I honestly have really been on this thing lately where if I had an accent, I think a lot of things would be easier for me, because if people are able to go, okay, you have an accent, that means you grew up somewhere different than me. And, if English isn't your first language, then I don't expect you to get it right. And I'm going to be willing to try to understand the words you're using and the way you're using them, because we're not, you're doing your best you can to speak the language I speak. So I wish that I received that same, that same respect, because I very literally did grow up in a completely different culture than anyone else I know. And so I really did come from a foreign country. Just because it's part of the United States doesn't make it foreign. And so I came from a foreign country. I came from a foreign culture. I literally learned language differently. And so it's so hard for me to come into this space where well, you obviously speak English, and you're obviously grew up here, so we can have those expectations of you. But if I had an accent, they'd be like, you're from somewhere else.
Interesting.
Because if I suggest, hey, I think we're using that word differently, or I think you understood what I was saying, not in the way I meant it, so can we go back to translation? So instead of it being about the translation, it becomes about me as a person, and I am somehow being unpleasant when I'm just like, can we just translate the words right? Because we're not saying the same thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. Well, go ahead and forgive yourself for being who you are.
I do forgive myself. I just feel hurt when others are unable to. That's what I'm really trying to get at. And so it feels really good to me to have cultivated relationships where people do accept me as I am and forgive me for being unusual.
Yeah, I have no idea. What as you're talking, I'm realizing you really have. Come on down, buddy.
We want you
would
down
love
here.
to have you here. Come on.
Oh, good boy.
Look, yay!
Yes, hi, buddy.
Hi,
That
you
last jump is a
came.
bummer, isn't it?
I know it hurts him.
Yeah.
I can see it hurting him.
Well, the email I'm gonna write is gonna say, hey, we noticed a few things that could be helpful. You know, maybe put his water bowls up higher, and a bit of a ramp back there.
All right.
For him.
You know something? I just can't resist you. You can see this orange, I think.
Maybe. You think maybe he can see?
Maybe he can see that orange sitting up there on the brown tabletop.
Or he just remembers it's there.
Yeah.
It's hard to listen to now. And I'm also going to suggest that they keep a rubber mat right there, because I know why they had it out here, but he needs it right there.
Yeah, I think even more of a mat kind of, soft landing place.
Yeah,
because
soft landing.
He really hurts. His little bones just hurt. So
what else, because that's a really good tweak on what I was going to say, from your expertise, of creating space for senior bodies. What else would you say besides a soft landing right there? And I would also say the non-skid things.
Yeah, a ramp, a non-skid ramp, but that's really like going above and beyond what a pet owner usually thinks of. But
not necessarily. I mean, you see the whole range, right? There's people who go freaking overboard, like that cat owner who I was just at. Like, their whole house has become about that cat. It's extreme. And then there's the folks who are like, we're not even really noticing. We haven't even spent the time to think about what might be better for him, what might make him more comfortable. Yeah. So you never know. They might decide he's dying any day. It's not worth the trouble. But they might decide, yeah, let's try it. It's not that hard, and I bet they'll see that he's way happier.
A soft landing would be nice.
I've non-skid.
He runs into this door, just the momentum of him coming down. He slams into the door, and sometimes he yelps.
Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't.
It's rough for him to come down these stairs and come out here and go pee, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't know he doesn't even have enough space. If the door is closed, he doesn't have space. And so he has multiple points of fear.
Right.
And pain. Actual
pain.
Oh, buddy.
Poor little guy.
So yeah, that's what I'm going to work on when I come back for his dinner time, since I have to double check, but I think I'm supposed to be here till like at least 6, because I don't think they're coming in until 12:30. So I'll work on that email, and it's perfect, because I like to finish it in the space, because if I go home to do it, I kind of never get to it.
Yeah, of course, you're not thinking about it.
Yeah. So if you think of anything else, definitely let me know. Feels like there was something else. But I also want to say they had lovely conversations. Oh, pee to the right of the bed. Were those the only places, or was there another accident somewhere? Because you mentioned several accidents. I just didn't know if they were all in the same place.
No, it was actually just one time.
Oh, just once. Well, okay, so that's good for.
It just was all along that.
It was like he was walking and peeing.
Yeah.
Traveler.
Like, help me! I need to go pee, but I already did.
Yeah.
That's the way old people get sometimes. I get that way sometimes.
And I don't know about him, but I know my dog, she had a health condition that she just would leak. That she didn't have like whatever it was she needed in order to not leak. Mm-hmm. And so she'd be so embarrassed. Mm-hmm. She'd be like, I had an accident, and there's no way to get through to her that it's okay, because a dog is so naturally does not want to pee in their den. And so if they pee in their den, like that's not good, So yeah, I bet he's embarrassed too, and he's like, oh, I tried. Anyway, you wanna do some reading? Would you like
okay.
me to read so that you don't have to
Okay.
stress your eyes?
Okay.
Okay, so we want to go back to where we were.
Do you want to go back to where we were? You
Yeah,
want to
I was
just
really
pick
enjoying it.
something else up?
No, I'd like to go through this one just because there was so much I was enjoying.
Okay.
Let's see, do you remember where?
It was close to there. It was, yeah. It was actually, I think, on this page. We haven't gone very far here.
Okay, yeah, because we keep getting all pumped. Yeah, you look.
Mhm.
It's a very rich one. I mean, it's the first one, right? So it makes sense. It's setting the stage.
So you read this, I think, up to maybe here. The state of entropy is rather like a vacuum state. I think
Okay,
that's
we
where
did get to there.
we did.
Yeah.
Okay. Your system is recharging. Because of this first shadow, humanity as a species is not nearly as creative as it could be.
Yeah, I don't think we read that. Okay, we're gonna start there. Oh my gosh, whoa. Okay, so I'm gonna go back just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna start at the beginning of that paragraph because now we're not gonna get stopped by it because we've already talked about it.
Okay.
The state of entropy is rather like a vacuum state. Your system is recharging, so the energy within you withdraws into a kind of stasis. The resulting feelings of or lack of feeling and or enthusiasm provide a delicate environment for something quite special to occur if you are patient enough to allow it. This something is the creative process, the art of processing. In other words, your low energy means that something intangible is gestating inside you. And even though you cannot yet see it, gestating, where it's talking about that chakra, creativity as a process of creation and not always just through the sexual energy, and like
That's
that
right.
contributes to creativity, and it's can be in this realm instead of it's not just sex. Everybody just attaches that to sex, but it's creativity.
You can compare it to sex because it's just as delightful to give birth to something, to something else as it is to have an orgasm.
It's and to see the fruits of your labor are fucking awesome. Okay, so it's so important, I think, for people to understand. I spent so many decades of my life going, I'm not creative. And now I understand myself to be really like so creative it overwhelms others,
Right,
so
right.
that was all trapped inside me. So no wonder I was depressed. I don't know. I didn't, and I never recharged like ever. Okay. In other words, your low energy means that something intangible is gestating inside you, and even though you cannot yet see it, only when the state mutates to its expressive stage will you see what the process is about. These low times in your life are therefore very special times, and they generally require aloneness and withdrawal in order for the seeds sprouting inside you to germinate. So I think we very quickly jump to depression, that's bad, you got to get out of it. When in fact, the natural process may be, it involves, there is always a time of darkness and winter time, hibernation, any of that. And our culture doesn't do that. And we just immediately interpret, I'm so sad. Yeah, go feel it. Go, let that gestate. Like that energy gets redirected. The worst enemy at such times is interference from your own mind, or indeed someone else's mind, wondering what is wrong with you. The programming partner of this first shadow is the second shadow of dislocation, which can only further worsen your state of mental turmoil if you try to intellectually understand what is happening to you. Making up stories. The second shadow tends to fuel the fire of your anxiety, since it gives you the feeling that everything is out of sync with the whole, even though this is not the case. Because of this first shadow, humanity as a species is not nearly as creative as it could be. The reason for this is the weight of the collective denial of the natural phases of entropy that individuals experience. This shadow can only be resolved and accepted at an individual level, which takes a great leap of courage, patience, and trust. When you suddenly find yourself blind and lost, the best thing to do is to stay still and allow it to pass gently through your system, giving it the minimum mental attention possible. I remember about a week ago you said, I can't live like this anymore. I can't live like this. And I really loved how you followed that up with, I'm saying it like that because I don't want you to get the idea I'm suicidal. I'm not suicidal. I just can't fucking live like this. And that's my favorite shift. That's what got me out of the dark, was it's the like this that has to change. And patience and trust, and get out of the mental attention. You slapped and slapped and slapped and slapped. So everything that you thought it could be is so absolutely potential, and it could be there's just a way to get the heck out of your head and recharge and in a quiet space without chaos. And
and I've had a few days where I've been awake most of the day.
Yeah, and you really have. It seems like you've come back alive.
I worked really hard today. This
you're
morning,
tired.
though.
Yeah,
I'm tired.
shoot. I wish you would have left some more for me to help. Well, we're getting you back home, and so I'm hoping that you will take at least a few hours to rest. And just rest. Just enjoy your bed. Take a nice long nap, and And I can't help but wonder if you force yourself to stop after, say, 90 minutes or something each time you kind of get into a work sprint. I wonder if that would help you not get so exhausted. Anyway, let's go back. Okay. When you suddenly find yourself blind and lost, the best thing to do is stay still and allow it to pass gently through your system, giving it the minimum mental attention possible. I have a lot to say about that, too. This deep acceptance of entropy as natural in your life will eventually allow you to unlock its true potential and in time transcend it entirely. From entropy to centropy, repressive nature, depressive. So it's repressive nature dash depressive.
You want to go back in so you can lay on your couch?
Oh, it would be cool if he had a bed out here too. Like when we're here.
This, but
it's tied
so
to the.
high.
Well, we'd have to take it off. We could do that. It's only like untie it. He might not go for it, but
he doesn't go for the. I put his bed right on the floor there, so he wouldn't have to climb up on the couch. But
maybe the couch is the only place comfortable enough.
He likes that couch.
I bet it's the only place his body doesn't hurt so much.
Is that what you want to do? Is go and lay down on your couch?
Yeah. I'd like to be out here, but if there's no comfy place.
You did all your business. Good job.
How about just leave the door open and you can decide. You can decide. I wish you would stay, but I'll leave it open in case he decides to come back out too. Okay.
Good boy.
Okay. The introverted nature of this shadow inevitably leads to depression. So we consider depression bad. But this is saying that's what it leads to. Or anyway, I'm going to stop. States of depression can be caused by the freezing of a low-frequency emotional state due to mental collapse rooted in fear. Oh, my God. This so fucking describes my whole fucking, yeah. Okay, let's read that again.
Let's read that again.
Let's read that again.
Holy shit. It's been fear all along.
Fuck yeah.
God, no shit.
It's fucking hard to get out of the fear when you're all by yourself in the dark.
Oh, my God.
I've been holding the torch for you, honey. I keep holding the torch. The introverted nature of this shadow inevitably leads to depression. States of depression can be caused by the freezing of a low-frequency emotional state due to mental collapse rooted in fear. Once fear takes over the physical system, the entropy goes on pulling more and more energy away from the surfaces of one's life. Okay, I'm going to do that. Once fear takes over the physical system, the entropy goes on pulling more and more energy away from the surface of one's life. Such states can occur at different levels. Some can be permanent, others sporadic. Some can leave one bedridden, others can simply take away the luster in one's eyes. Once a depressive state has been fixed, it can only be broken by the individual and without help. The individual must face down the very fear that caused the depression and shift the frequency of their attitude on all levels. Did you bring your little thingies out?
Eric Soucher needs to hear this.
Yeah. We have him come over for some cuddles and here. Listen, I have a pen. Oh my gosh. What we could when you have the inspiration of a particular person when we read something, I think we should write their name down.
Write it on that
And
piece
then
of paper.
and then I bet you'll yeah, you'll just be, I want to read you something. Okay, so face down the fear. I'm sure we'll get to this, but yeah, I guess I can see that there's the point of like the final battle, like the boss battle that even in the movies, it seems like it always comes down to an individual. The individual is the one who finally slays the boss, the bad boss. And so I think you can still come with a team. You can still have support. You can still have, like friendships like this where I'm like, please don't fall so deep in that hole you can't get out. But really it comes down to you have to do it alone.
Initially, sure.
Yeah, at one point, and then coming out of it is the
once we get out of it, we can recognize it in another, and we can share the reasons not to fear.
Yeah, but I really can't help but wonder, just especially based on my own experience, as long as you get out of the environment that that's the deepest and darkest and the most
that has a hold of you,
as long as you can remove yourself from that environment eventually and allow yourself to be around people who are like, we've been there, honey, we're here cheering you on, and we've got a warm blanket and hot water waiting for you and a hug. You can do this, and so I think we haven't gotten enough support, that most of us throughout our lifetimes. We've had people who are like, you can't do it, and then so we're like not feeling supported or like cheered on. And it's not just sports teams who I think should have cheerleaders. I believe in you unconditionally. I am here singing your song unconditionally. I'm going to keep singing it. Whether you win or lose, I don't care. Singing. There's no win or lose. Anyway, cool. Okay. Once a depressive state has been fixed, it can only be broken by the individual and without help. The individual must face down the very fear that caused the depression and shift the frequency of their attitude on all levels.
Damn. There's just no way of getting around it.
Fuck.
Even the Gene Keys isn't making it any easier.
No. Well, I'm excited to read the next step. Well, I guess we're almost to the first gift. We're definitely going to get at least to the first part of that before we stop.
Yeah.
Or else we'll get stuck in the depressive state.
Oh, no, we won't, because we've already made it out of there.
Yeah.
And so this is a good story. We're reading our story.
And I think this is yet another way of saying the hero's journey. Reactive nature - frenetic. Okay.
Oh, you know anything about frenetic?
My theory a few years ago, I was just like, you know what? I think if somebody reacts immediately, if they react like right away to something, you said and did and blah, 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 and I need you to respond right away, that's their trauma coming up. And that's the opportunity for them to do this part. You must face down that very fear that caused the reaction and shift the frequency. And so by what the other words were, whatever we are reading, where it goes from, the trigger or the struggle to like, oh, reflection. Okay, what can I learn from that? And then they can come back to the other and go, okay, I can see you more clearly now. I can receive you more clearly now. But really, no one will. I have yet for anyone to follow my request when I say, can you please wait 24 hours until after you listened or read my message before you respond? Please wait. No matter what I do, how I say it, that's still immediate reaction, and then it just gives them a whole nother thing to be.
The reaction.
Well, because I haven't. No, I'm. Well, yes, because usually it's because I've had the experience with the person already. And because I take time to try and identify. Okay, what I'm hearing them. What did I say or do that led to this? And once I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm pretty confident that I didn't do the thing they're perceiving that I did. Then and that big reactivity, that big energy, that big that's so much all wrapped up in that ball. I bumped that trigger. I'm so sorry. Please wait 24 hours before you come back to me, because almost always sleeping on it. Remember, I think you even had a recent experience. Sleeping on it almost always shifts the 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 attitude and the frequency.
That's right.
They recharge a little bit, maybe. And so then they're not coming from that highly dysregulated space. There's just no way to. It's just, yeah. Once somebody's in that. So, but the hard part comes if they're never willing to take the focus off of you said blah blah blah, and instead go what really happened for me. Why did that come up? What was? If they never do that, then it's it sucks. Okay. The reactive side of this shadow manifests as a frenetic urge to escape the way one is feeling at all costs. Instead of moving in harmony with entropy by closing their doors and being alone, these people immediately increase their activity and contact with others. Keep me busy. I don't want to face it. They become frenetic in their bid to suppress what's going on inside them and can become engaged in wild schemes or locked in monotonous patterns that quickly undermine their health. Such people put themselves in great danger because they are moving in the opposite direction from the chemistry of their body. Their urge to escape their feelings opens them to all kinds of illnesses in their body that would otherwise never have troubled them.
I mean, I just wonder if like 90% of our illnesses, our aches, our pains, our itises are exactly this.
There's no doubt in me from my experience that if I had moved my body more, if I had done these processes of like self-reflection instead of like, I wouldn't have gotten sick. Because I also would have been able to recognize, like, I am so far past my threshold that this is causing me harm. You can't continue to force me to come back to work. I'm supposed to get comp time, for fuck's sake. I have worked, I haven't had a real day off, and so my family's suffering. I'm suffering. And I think if I had known to do this, I don't think I would have ended up bedridden and just goo. I was goo for years. It sucked. It sucked. I have a whole YouTube channel about that, though. Heather's Full Catastrophe. And I'm like, I'm so sick. Okay. Oh, and people also often interpret this I need to be alone as isolation. Isolationism instead of I just need to retreat for a bit and chill. Yeah. Oh, everything's a bummer because I can't do all the things I used to do.
Keep reading because we're never going to get to the end.
I know. All right. Okay, the beauty of melancholy. The first gift, freshness. The beauty of melancholy.
Oh, we're already on the gift?
Yeah. What time is it? Oh, 12. Cool. Yeah. See, that's why I wanted to get through those two paragraphs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. The beauty of melancholy. In most of ancient creation myths, one of the first manifestations of life is seen as light. In the Bible in Genesis, this is forever implanted in the Western psyche through the clarion call, "Let there be light." This first gift is rooted in this notion of light as the manifestation of creative energy in the universe. One of the other common creation myths is based upon sound, captured in the above words spoken out loud by God in the Bible. Here in this first gift, we have the bringing together of these two essential principles of light and sound. The third great symbol of creativity unites these two principles through the symbol of fire. Fire is perhaps the greatest creative archetype since it not only consumes, but also transforms. Whilst the second gene key indicates your true direction in life, its programming partner, the first gene key, provides the actual energetic thrust to get you there. So, I mean, we're all supposed to be phoenixes.
Yeah.
Every time an individual moves cleanly through their low-frequency chemical process, they reenact this creation myth. Out of the darkness, suddenly light emerges, and as if by magic, the low energy field switches and is experienced as joy. This joy comes as unexpectedly as the sadness does, but with the joy also comes the need to express it, and especially to express it through your voice or your art. This first gift, called the gift of freshness, because whatever emerges out of its numbing chemistry field is absolutely new. Okay, let's do that one again. This first gift is called the gift of freshness, because whatever emerges out of its numbing chemistry field is absolutely new. Like you cooked something. You put in the ingredients and it comes out completely new. Every word for every gene key is highly specific, and the word freshness is different, for example, from the word newness. Freshness conveys aliveness, as though it refers to something burning with an inner fire. This is exactly how people empowered by the first gift express themselves, as though surrounded by a halo of something brought with them from another world.
Oh, God. Can you just read that one more time?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Definition of freshness. Freshness conveys aliveness, as though it refers to something burning with an inner fire. This is exactly how people empowered by the first gift express themselves, as though surrounded by a halo of something brought with them from another world.
I've had people say that of me.
I've seen it. I've experienced it. Okay, I think the next paragraph's important too.
Okay, do you want to keep going?
At least this one more. At least one more. The first gift can perform wonders within small organizational groupings. As you raise your frequency through this gift, you become a person likely to be singled out by others as a natural-born leader. At the same time, you will find yourself reluctant to assume any leadership role, since you are not in the least bit interested in being followed by others. All the first gift of freshness really wants is to express itself fully through you, so that you can enjoy watching the impact you have on others. As this gift awakens inside your DNA, you will find that you automatically inject life and light into any group of people you're a part of. I gotta get up and move. Shit, man.
I think that's true for you.
Yeah. Yes. I do think so.
I think that's you.
Except for I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, yeah, fuck, everybody's gonna follow me. That means it's important for me to say the things. It's important for me to do the things. I'm withholding if I don't. Everybody's like, tell me how you do that. So I'm like, okay, I gotta do it. I gotta tell you and show you. Mostly show, because telling often goes wrong. Do you have any like 5-minute kind of chakra, or 5-8 minute kind of chakra balancing things?
Oh, I guess we could do one.
Because we don't have to. I'm just asking the question because I really like quickies sometimes.
Yeah,
Quickies are good. Sure hope this is recording. I'll be so bummed if it didn't. Okay, I have to read a couple of lines while I'm waiting. Okay. Freshness is a gift that needs the right environment in order to bloom. It needs open-minded people who give you center stage exactly when you need it. After the fresh energy has been released and your creative impact has been felt, you will usually need to retreat as quickly as possible in order to not spoil the power of your release. Your secret lies in the knowledge that fresh flowers soon wilt. For just as your light can infiltrate any group bringing inspiration and joy, so can your melancholy equally draw away energy away from the very same group. If you try to rekindle your creativity through force of will, you will only end up making huge compromises, both with yourself and with others. For you, life is either fully engaged or completely at rest. Creativity through will. I'll read it. Okay. I need to make a little sign for myself, because life is either fully engaged or completely at rest.
I noticed that you're a little bit constipated. It's probably from the cheese.
Oh my gosh. The genius of freshness is to bring something to the world that no one has ever seen before and that no one else could replicate.
You skipped ahead.
No, well, I just, yeah. I think it helps me read a little more smoothly, you know, anyway.
If you read ahead of time.
Yeah.
I know.
So, can I read to you?
Okay. Yes, because I'm going to just
Good.
be eating.
Eat, yes. Okay. So we had just finished reading. As this gift awakens inside your DNA, you will find that you automatically inject life and light into any group of people you're a part of. For these... hi, buddy.
Good job.
Mm-hmm. Okay. For these reasons, it is the domain of the family, compact team, or intimate group where the first gift is designed to excel. Freshness is a gift that needs the right environment in order to bloom. It needs open-minded people who give you center stage exactly when you need it. After the fresh energy has been released and your creative impact has been felt, you will usually need to retreat as quickly as possible in order not to spoil the power of your release.
I get that.
I do too. Because I give in to the expectation that I don't run away right after I've done something cool, and then I'm tired. So there's another part that's so important. Okay. Your secret lies in the knowledge that fresh flowers soon wilt. For just as your light can infiltrate any group bringing inspiration and joy, so can your melancholy equally draw energy away from the very same group. The gift of freshness relies on one immortal truth. Creativity can never be controlled. It simply comes when it comes, and when it is absent, there is nothing for you to do but wait and relax.
Fuck. You need to read that again.
I was gonna. I'm so glad that we've finally arrived at the words where I'm just like, dude, going with the flow is chilling. Okay. Creativity can never be controlled. That is one immortal truth. It simply comes when it comes, and when it is absent, there is nothing for you to do but wait and relax.
Yep.
Through the codon ring known as the Ring of Fire, this first gene key is chemically bonded to the 14th gene key, whose shadow is compromise. When your creative fire is burning, everyone wants to gather around you and partake of your warmth and inspiration. But when your fire dies to a mere flicker, it is as though you become unnoticeable. This next sentence is the part where I think is the synopsis of what happened with that last project we did, that last client, because and I'm going to read the sentence. If you then try to rekindle your creativity through force of will, you will only end up making huge compromises, both with yourself and with others. For you, life is fully engaged or completely at rest. And I hopefully I've admitted to you that I did feel a little niggle, but I was like, we need the money, we need the opportunity. Oh, it came in divine timing. And oh, it's a cool opportunity because this, that, and the other. But I also did feel the compromise happening, and I thought it was worth the price, but it really fucking wasn't. On the one hand, I couldn't have learned that lesson as clearly as I just did if I'd followed that niggle and was like, nope, I never would know. But now I know. Okay.
Follow your niggles.
Yeah. If you then try to rekindle your creativity through force of will, you will only end up making huge compromises, both with yourself and with others. That leads right to resentment, doesn't it? And this is really important for me to get through to myself, is life is either fully engaged or completely at rest. I'm almost never completely at rest. Almost never. If your life is marked by such a creative pulse, you will probably have a strong genetic activation within this first gene key. As such, you are here to dissolve the first shadow by being a living example of the unpredictable power of the creative process. Your true power lies in your ability to be alone with yourself and to trust in the power of your own uniqueness and timing. Out of every dark hole into which you dive comes forth a sally of startling and profound creativity. The genius of freshness is to bring something to the world that no other has ever seen before and that no one else could replicate. Yeah, that's what got me through. It's like, this isn't just for me. I've got to be going through this so that I can learn something and share it with other people. I know somehow it'll be worth it. Eventually. I did trust in the power of my own uniqueness and timing eventually. And I know that I have brought really fucking startling and profound creativity. And no one's ever seen what I could do. That's why I get so frustrated. People are like, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's not supposed to make sense. Just believe me. Will you just believe me? That why do you not trust that I've thought this through and felt it through and I followed the inspiration? Why is it that I have to prove it? And just because you can't imagine it doesn't mean it's not possible. I'm looking forward to doing whatever the test is to identify this stuff, because I think it's pretty obvious. This one's strong for me.
I don't think there is a test.
Oh, I thought there was some way. How do you know if you've got this activation in any particular gene key?
You read it.
Okay, and so then
you go, oh, yeah, this is me.
Okay, I thought there was some sort of like human design or astrology or whatever.
So. I may be wrong.
Well, we'll find out. It doesn't matter. I'm definitely, I'm getting the, I can't remember what word it used. It's not reflection, I don't think, but contemplation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, through reading the book, it inspires contemplation. Mm-hmm. I think this applies to you very strongly as well. No one can bring forward what you can and what you already have. I think there's multiple stages of gestation of big creativity too. It's not one and done.
We're always in that state. We've got many seeds brewing.
Like a big ass garden. It's a big ass garden. Sometimes some things are like bamboo and it takes a really fucking long time to start showing results. And then it grows rapidly. Other things are like fruit-bearing trees that take 5 years or whatever. There's all kinds of pace.
You can forget it. I'm not going to give you any food off of my plate.
Can I have a cherry? Can I have it?
Oh, man. The very last cherry.
Thank you.
Sorry you didn't get any more. I got more in there.
Okay. They are one of my favorite fruits. And they're sort of like oranges in that they usually sucked by the time they got to Alaska. They usually were really expensive. And so it was like this preciousness to it, and they were almost always disappointing. And so it was this really complicated thing. Like, I really want that cherry or I really want that orange, but the chances of it sucking are really high. And I can't not eat it because then it's wasteful. Okay. Oh, good. We're to almost to the city. I have just one more paragraph.
Okay.
That the very first gene key in the book of life inside you is dedicated to creativity speaks volumes about the human species as a whole. We are designed to overcome the shadow states inside so that our true genius can emerge and we can add our spirit to the world. It is through individual creativity that all diseases and negative patterns will eventually leave this planet. This is the true meaning of freshness, to be a clear vessel for the creative process so that the evolution can move through you and find its way toward a permanent state of eventual love, beauty, and unity.
Yep. That's pretty much my mission statement, I think. Oh, hello, brother.
Where is it? I can't. Oh, all the way over there. I don't know if I've ever. Is that a crow? I'm not sure I've ever heard that particular sound.
He's talking to me. It's my brother.
Holy shit. That warble in particular, I'm not sure I've heard them make.
He must be looking for a mate.
Oh, is that what that probably is?
I don't know.
I mean, I know that they communicate. I've definitely had conversations with them.
Yeah.
Those are sounds I hadn't heard. Wow, cool. Okay. So, how do you do you just put another thing in here for?
I'd like to, what's the city?
Oh, okay, you'd like to know what it is.
I just want to know what it is.
The first city, beauty. And then the first words are the Promethean fire.
Beauty.
Wow. Jesus. I think this needs to be part of our, like, most mornings practice. Is we don't start our day from the place of, like, we're gonna go read some gene keys. And I know my first draft of these tabs are always really gross, so.
That's okay. They're what they are.
I love tabbies, but I hate it when they're messy. Anyway, okay. So let's get you home. So you've got time to chill and then pack a bit and then chill and then pack a bit. What I thought I'd do so that you can take it in whenever you feel like it and little bits at a time is kind of give you a video tour of, like, here's your shelves, here's where you can put this stuff, here's what this is, so that I find it's challenging often for two people to kind of be in the same space at the same time, especially when it's like, let me deluge you with information. So I kind of wanted to do it on a little video so that then you can, like I said, watch it whenever you want. Of course, I mean, I'm not saying I won't give you a tour. I'm just saying that I think that would help you imagine also the space before you're there.
I don't know.
You'll see all the places I've opened up for you.
It's okay.
All the space being created so that you can take center stage exactly when it's meant to be. Okay.